welcome back to the garden. The eagle-eyed, attentive members of my viewership, those of you out there who pay attention to the little details, perhaps will have noticed I'm wearing a never-before-worn shirt. Sportswear from the club, official sportswear from the club, Hellas Verona, who are at present engaged in a bit of a dogfight to avoid relegation in the Italian Serie A. And also, if you have paid attention to matters non-sartorial, you will be aware that I have referenced this club before because one of their dedicated fans, Giovanni, actually visited us some years ago, 8 years ago. And he's back with us today. He's a friend of a close friend of my wife's. And, well, he has a connection to Brazil. Family who live in the south, and over the last 30 years or so, he has come here many times. His first visit and his first caipirinha at the tender age of 10. And he comes bearing gifts. He's a lovely chap. And I've mentioned him before because he has I suppose, a mini museum, a homage to the club. And he really is closely connected to it. And in one of our conversations since he's been here, we were talking about players and people that had started out their career at Hellas and have gone on to, I guess, bigger and better things. And those sorts of players, in many cases, he has sat down and had an evening meal, gone to local pizzeria, stuff like that. So Giovanni is staying with us, enjoying some warm weather, a break from Italy, and as I say, I am paying tribute to the club that we both follow him in a very long-term, deep relationship, and I vicariously, or through him, I suppose you could say. Anyway, what has that got to do with today's talk? Well, nothing other than to explain that as my year sort of doesn't so much unravel as fails to start, it has again failed to start. And it got me thinking that sometimes we want to have everything under control. We want to plan things. And of course, other stuff happens. Some of it is annoying, some of it is tragic, some of it is wonderful new opportunities, and some of it is just stuff. Stuff happens. And we can get a little frustrated that things aren't working out how we planned, or we can start feeling anxiety because time slips away and we don't do what we meant to do. But the truth of the matter is, as another of my good friends, my late friend Mike would say, the universe is exactly the way it's supposed to be. What is supposed to be happening right now is our friends are visiting us, and they are, and it's wonderful. That means I haven't given a moment's thought to a video. That means that whilst I've tried to do some work, I've accepted that the work I do won't be 4 or 5 hours in the day. It will be I will snatch an hour where I just move something forward, where I stop the momentum completely coming to an end. And that's fine. We've been talking about a number of interesting, diverse topics. But one of the things very often is when you, and once again, please excuse the hand waving, but boy, oh boy, are there a lot of little small insects. And that actually is kind of what I was going to say before they rudely interrupted me. stuff might be going wrong and you might be feeling frustrated. But really, very often, if you kind of look at the big picture, well, this is certainly true for me. I can't say this is true for you. But if I look at my own life, it is extraordinarily good. And if I feel annoyed because I'm trying to make a little film and there's these little minuscule black mosquitoes that are buzzing in my ear and flapping around and just generally making a nuisance of themselves, well, try and put that in the context of real problems with insects, where you have a plague of these creatures, and not only they're annoying you, but they are bringing life-threatening diseases, or they are distracting you because you live in a fundamentally unhealthy place, or you lack adequate shelter. I'm not doing a very good job of illustrating what I mean via insects, but I think you can probably get what I'm trying to say, that my life is very good, and indeed most of us, if you're watching this, almost certainly your life is in many ways very good too. Of course, there might be little problems, or there might be very, very big problems. And I think it's a mistake. Of course, it's a mistake to try and downplay those big problems. But equally, when faced with big problems, to try and suggest that rage, frustration, anger is the solution would be a mistake. The solution is to either find stoic, calm acceptance, or work out what the best response to the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune are. Do something about it. In my case, the year continues to be slightly disrupted, but there are little pockets of time, and I can see a way forward to accomplish what needs to be accomplished this year, and that's fine. So I suppose that's kind of one of the messages I wanted to convey today. That life is good. And to start dwelling on something that is maybe an inconvenient downside, shall we say, rather than being in the moment, looking at the difficulties in meeting certain commitments because our schedule has been thrown out by a week here and a week there because of wonderful things have happened, stops you enjoying the wonderful things that are happening. No, the response is to say, well, okay, I'm going to have to put this to one side. I'm going to have to make a plan to make sure that I do meet my commitments. In my case, luckily, my commitment is a movable feast. I don't have on the horizon any firm dates other than paying my income tax, and I have a few weeks in hand to do that. So that shouldn't be a problem. And that's it. Then I think we can look at trying to make everything perfect, or fretting about stuff. Sometimes when people come to visit, we get so concerned about making sure that their visit is perfect, when in fact, worrying about making their visit perfect kind of creates a certain tension and stops the visit being perfect. My wife's much better at this than I am. She doesn't look at any logistical problems. She just solves the immediate problems and then enjoys things. Today, for example, everyone's had a wonderful day because our local family of monkeys were around. She heard their calls and took everyone to see the monkeys. And of course, if you've come from Verona, Italy, and you stand underneath a cashew tree and see a little family of monkeys, the mother carrying its babies on her back and that sort of thing. Well, that's incredible. I mean, you don't see that in the streets of Verona. You might see other wonderful things, but not monkeys. So I guess that's my message, really. Live in the moment. Enjoy what's going on. Be grateful. Easy for me to say, I know, because I am so extraordinarily blessed. But I think we all falling into that trap again. Many of us are. And many of us, certainly this was true when I worked at the British School in Sao Paulo, at St. Paul's, there were many families who never stopped complaining. And you looked and thought, well, you know, you are in the very upper echelon, not of Brazil, but of the whole world. You have everything within your power to make your dreams come true, to lead a wonderful life. And you're focusing on the wrong things. So that's it, really. I don't know if you're disappointed out there that I haven't said something deeper or more philosophically profound or a funny story. But I'm afraid that is it today, because I need to call the video a day, chalk it up as one of the tasks that I need to complete, and get ready to make some caipirinhas for our house guests. So that's it. I trust, as always, your lives are filled with joy, and from a sunny Brazil, until next week, when I think probably things will have calmed down. Ciao.